Hello, people, and yes, I'm back with another episode with the Lady's Choice, and again, it is just me because JoJo is still away and still not interested in Victorian era sort of things. So I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna try to keep it at least under 25 minutes this time, but I keep forgetting to look. And I'm like, it's only been 15 minutes, and it's been an hour. So I will really try this time, though. Maybe turn down the music a little bit. I noticed in the last video you could barely hear the music, so I'm gonna keep it up a bit more than I did last time. But I don't want to have to yell either, so yeah. Alright. I saved twice because you know how it goes. Alright. Are you quite alright, Victoria? I give a small nod, which does not completely deter Arabella's concerns, but it is enough to calm her a little. Lady Huntington is the gatekeeper in which all of society must please to secure a good future. I was negligent not to warn you of her. You're perfect, Arabella. Oh, okay, You are not at fault. No, it is her manners which are negligent. The sour expression on her face should have been a beacon of warning, or it would have been nice to know beforehand. No. Arabella can do no wrong. Let's see. This one is good for Arabella, but I also think it's kind of pandering to the Huntington lady in case she's like hearing or something. Arabella would probably like this one. Her sour expression was the only beacon of warning I needed. Arabella gives a small laugh, her worry vanishing. Did the Colonel not ask for the next dance with you, Arabella? Oh, I almost quite forgot. Almost forgot? Well, I could never altogether forget any invitation from that man. True. I shake my head slightly at her words. But what of you? Go and enjoy the company of your officer, Arabella. She doesn't need much more convincing than that before giving a broad smile and setting off to find her uniformed partner. As the partners begin to move off to the dance floor, I shuffle one side out of the way, only to bang right into someone beside me. Oh, I apologize. I glance up right away to meet the eyes with a tall, well-held gentleman. Okay. Oh, he's cute. He kind of looks like, the guy from Hamilton. Like, I've never watched that, by the way, which I really want to. Okay, I believe it should be me. I believe I should be the one to make an apology, miss. It's hard. He glances off to the side and then returns his gaze to me. How about I make up such a calamity on my part with a dance? Why? How did you know we were looking for a dance partner? He offers his hands towards Maud. I can assure you I'm not anywhere near as clumsy when on the dance floor. But we are not yet introduced. You and I know that fact, but I believe the rest of the room does not. He offers his hand again. Would you care to take the chance on such a scandal? His teasing only makes me hesitate. Dance? Don't dance? I mean, yeah, we'll dance. I push down my uncertainty and place my hand into his. His handsome face brightens to a wide smile as he leads me to the floor, where we stand opposite each other and wait the music. Standing in line with the other woman, I cannot help but notice that narrow glares and curious whispers that pass amongst the crowd. Uh-oh. All thrown in the direction of my unknown dance partner. Ooh. I am most glad you decided to take such a risk. I do not usually get to dance much anymore. Oh dear. Has that anything to do with the way everyone glances at you? His brows arch, obviously surprised by my bold question. You are quite astute. He takes my hand and I walk beneath his arm before we turn to face each other. I will speak plainly then. We've been around another couple before joining together again. I did not introduce myself to you, as I could tell you obviously did not know of me. And it is a rare and precious thing to enjoy not being judged before even being acquainted. Oh. I would not have judged you even if I had known who you were. I am quite capable of making my own opinions. It is the style to judge those we do not know, had you not heard. That's a sassy one. Rumors often start from truths. That is true. I mean, I don't want to say, yeah, we would have never judged you, and then find out that he, like, did something truly terrible or something. But then, I mean, why is he at a ball if he's, like, a criminal? I'm gonna say I'm quite capable of making my own opinions. Yeah. I am more than capable of forming my own opinions, sir. But can you guarantee that your thoughts would never be swayed by popular opinion? I suppose it depends on what I was told and if there was truth behind it. And is there truth behind whatever it is they say? He doesn't answer, instead only giving a long smile. The music begins to fade and we draw together at the end of the dance. He politely leads me to the crowds of the side of the room and gives a deep bow. It has been a most pleasant time. And all without introductions. I confess that made it all the sweeter. Please excuse me. With a final nod of his head, he moves away and I watch his broad frame disappear into the crowds. What is happening? Victoria, what could have possessed you to dance with him? Oh dear. I spin around in shock at Arabella's outburst. What on earth do you mean? Lord Stanton, of course. Who is? You were not even introduced? I clasped her hands, trying to calm down her hysterics, as I fear she may faint from shock. Arabella! You truly danced with such a man without knowing him? I'm sure there have been worse things done, Arabella. You would not say such things if you knew of him. She slides closer and whispers to me. Oh, that is Viscount Stanton of Braxbury, Lord Isaac Stanton. She tries to gauge my expression and sees no sign of recognition as she continues. His family name was once well respected until his father took up an affair with a local gambling house, and it would appear that passion runs in the family. There's apparently no fortune left. His presence at these events is purely due to his lineage, nothing more. You should be more careful in the future of associating with such company. I glanced into the crowd where the man had disappeared, suddenly understanding our conversation during the dance a little more. A few hours later, and the crowd begins to disperse. Well, just to slide in my opinion, I mean, if he just gambled, which isn't a good thing, but I don't see why that would mean, like, he's completely out of society. I mean, that can't be it, right? Probably. I'm more than happy to return home into the comfort of bed, my body and mind fatigued from the evening. So I guess we met all the love interests then. The next morning I find Arabella in the drawing room after breakfast, eagerly tearing open a pile of letters. So many letters already. I give a small laugh as I take the seat opposite her. She glances up, a serious expression on her features. This is no laughing matter, Victoria. These are invites. It is today we make our most important decision of the season. And what would that be? Whose company we'll be spending the season with, of course. It would be impossible to split our time between everyone in town, so we must decide who will receive our interest. I see. She gives a bright smile and leans closer to me, placing her hands on my knees. Seeing as it is your first year back, why do you not choose the engagement? Are you certain? I would have it no other way. She leans back and spreads out 3 letters in front of me. Each invite is elegantly written and well presented. Arabella points to the first one. This is an invite to an afternoon tea later today. Okay. Though I believe Lord Straighton will be in attendance at this one, so maybe it'd be wiser to avoid it. The worry on her face disappears in favor of a grin as she gestures to the next letter. This is a letter to a dinner party this evening hosted by Lady Huntington in honor of the military being in town. Ooh. Colonel Floxy will be there along with a captain friend of his. Ooh. I wonder if we can date Colonel Foxley, because that's who I'm most interested in at the moment. But it seems like apparently he's a love interest for Arabella, possibly. So I don't know. And with a captain friend of his, the captain guy was nice. Captain Blake. Yes, him. She touches the final invite. This is a picnic hosted by the Kitterings. Yeah. She pouts a little in thought. They're not the most known family, though they always bring the most delightful spread of food, so the event is quite popular. A few families always attend, the Fishers, the Sterlings, the Amesburys, if they're in town. With Mr. Amesbury, of course. She gives a nod. Yes, I believe he is the only son in town this year, is it not? She waves away the thought of dismissal before I can respond, and then spreads out the letters further on the table. So, which would you like to attend? Wait, can we only choose one now, like at all? Okay, I'm going to save, and I want to look up if Colonel Foxley is a love interest, because in that case, that's who I'm going for. But if not, I guess Lord Stranton. I think he was cuter than Amesbury. Yeah, so hold that thought. Okay, I'm back. I looked it up, and apparently you cannot date Colonel Foxley. And I'm very sad. So, I guess we'll go for Stanton. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But Amesbury was kind of nice too. Wasn't he? Yeah. Yeah, let's go for Stanton. I think the afternoon tea. Are you certain? Lord Stanton may be there, and now you've spoken to him, we may not be able to avoid his acquaintance. Arabella, you advised me not to fret, but now here you are. Her worry shifts into a small smile. All right, as you wish, then. Can he really be so bad? He seemed like a perfectly respectable gentleman at the ball. Arabella gives an unladylike scoff. His manners have nothing to do with his reputation. I just do not wish to see any slander fall on you due to his careless interactions. I understand. Excuse me. And we may have no reason to converse with the man anyway, so I do not expect it should be an issue at all. She picks up the invitation to the afternoon tea and then stands from her seat. I shall let Johnson know to inform them of our acceptance. I give her a nod as she leaves the room. That afternoon, we arrive at the event rooms to see who else decided to attend this gathering. As soon as we step in, we are accosted by Miss Claire Witter. Oh, Lady Ashbourne, Miss Edwards. We all dip into curtsies, though Miss Witter's is far more animated than ours. Isn't it the most thrilling thing? This is my first time attending these events on my own, you know. Well, except for the presence of my aunt, who provided a little more than complaints at everything we do. But now you have both arrived, I believe this will be a most splendid afternoon. Indeed it shall, Miss Witter. Arabella obviously sees a new friend in the girl and sidles up to her. Is there anyone of note yet here? No one except you, Lady Ashbourne. Arabella glances in my direction, a pleased smile gracing her lips. Oh, I do believe we shall get on very well, Miss Witter. The small group of us head to the vacant seats and settle ourselves in. It is not long until we have been served our tea, accompanied by a selection of fluffy delicacies. Are you here for a marriage match, Miss Witter? That is what I hope, though I have not seen anyone yet. That is often the way. Ain't that the way? The conversation is suddenly halted as the room falls quiet. Oh. I turn in my seat to see what everyone has decided to stare at. I soon discover the quiet is due to someone only now entering the ball, far later than what should be acceptable. Ooh, Straighton, you're not helping yourself. It's not hard to distinguish that it is Lord Straighton merely from his tall stature alone. Oh, jeez, guy. Okay. As he steps inside, there's the faintest twitter of whispers before everyone returns to their conversations. Before I do the same, I manage to catch Lord Straighton's eye. He smiles at me and dips his head in a formal greeting. I return the gesture and then feel suddenly a hand rest on my arm. Victoria, would you care for more tea? I turned back to face my companions and nodded Arabella's question. Do you know Lord Stranton, Miss Edwards? We have not been formally introduced, no. Arabella soon changes the topic of conversation. There are many eligible men about, Miss Witter. It just seems to take a year of searching to find them. She laughs softly. And what of you, Lady Ashbourne? I heard that there is talk of a possible engagement. Words truly spread fast. I'm afraid that did not come to fruition. Oh no! Okay. She doesn't seem to be affected in any way, but still. I'm sorry, Arabella. You do not need him. Obviously a man not worthy of your time. Maybe another match will find you soon. This one would probably be for Arabella. Quite obviously a man not worth your time, Arabella. She gives a small nod of agreement. I agree. Why did the match not progress? Arabella shrugs her shoulders and shuffles back in her seat a little. He is not a fan of being in society, and our lives together would have been spent mostly in the country. And though some may value the peace of that life, she throws me a knowing smile, it is not what I wish for my future. I enjoy the crowds of the town too much to surrender that for marriage. It is a fact that would be difficult to deny. Arabella is truly in her element along with the crowds. As the conversation dwindles, I glance about the room, noticing Lord Stranton is not amongst the chattering people. Would he have left already? The welcome he received was not the most cordial. The thought is forced from my mind as Arabella and Miss Witter grab my attention once more with talk of the latest London fashions. It is a couple of hours before I am left to myself, Miss Witter most insistent upon Arabella meeting her tiresome aunt. Taking a walk around the room, I hear no conversation that tempts me to join, so I continue on. Peering down the side hallway, I begin walking down it. Exploring the event hall has far more interest than forced pleasantries with strangers at that moment. Ooh. Halfway down the corridor, I catch whispers of voices and find my feet, following the source of the noise before I can stop. The voices, now made clear to be angered ones, come from behind a small doorway. I am about to turn away when I recognize one of them as Lord Stranton's. You pressed your luck to call me here. I have no worries, my lord. I was careful enough to go unnoticed. We were most anxious to know if you will be attending the house tonight. I am there almost every night. Why should this evening be any different? Stranton's voice holds an unmistakable tension. The boss will be pleased, with you being such good friends now. Yes, I am sure his wallet is most excited by my presence. That is unfair, my lord. You cannot blame all of your bad fortune on my good employer. He does not force those in his establishment to gamble, he only provides the option. Stranton gives a derisive snort. Yes, the man's practically a saint. There's a silence so tense it seems to batter me, even through the closed door. Until tonight, then, my lord. The sound of a door opening and closing echoes from the room, and I realize the conversation is over. Throwing my glance about the hallway, I am dismayed to find no hiding places. The door before me opens, revealing Lord Stranton, whose face tenses in surprise to find me. Miss Edwards, what are you doing here? Pretend to have gotten lost. Don't try to cover up eavesdropping. I would be obliged to ask the same of you, Lord Stranton. What are you doing here? Let's save. Okay. Pretend to have gotten lost. I mean, he doesn't seem the type to be fooled by that. Let's do this. I grew rather tired of the same talk in the hall, so I decided to walk about. I overheard rather angered voices and came to investigate. I understand. Curiosity is a natural trait for us all, is it not, Miss Edwards? I smile at him in gratitude of his understanding. He offers an arm towards me. Shall we return to the hall? We proceed down the hallway together, and I speak to break the silence. You have discovered my name, I see. I believed it was only fair, as I was sure someone would be quick to inform you of mine after the ball. I give a small nod. And along with my name, I'm most certain you've had most scandalous details relayed to you. My expression drops a little at his words, giving answer enough. I see. Then what you overheard just moments ago cannot have come as much of a surprise. You are very open and most keen to make light of it all. What use is there in doing otherwise? Though I may wish my affairs could be my own, that can never be the case in today's world. Oh, pff. It is a fact I have grown used to. I would care very little of what others say of myself, but that should have an effect on my family is what concerns me the most. Huh. Before we can speak more of it, of course, we come to the entrance of the hallway which opens back into the hall. A few people glance in our direction, and I can feel Scranton tense beside me. I shall take my leave of you now, Miss Edwards. It would be unfair for me to tarnish your good name, all for the want of more of your fair-minded company. I would not mind if you stayed. I care little for their opinion. I think a little tarnishing can only be of benefit. Thank you for your consideration. I think this one. I would not mind at all if you stayed, Lord Stratton. It would please me greatly to do so, especially when I'm usually welcome so little. Maybe another time when we are under less strict observation. I slide my hand from his arm when he gives me a polite bow before he moves off towards the exit of the hall. I watched him leave, all the faces that had turned on us now returning to their own conversations. Victoria, did you not care to take my advice? I stare at Arabella as she rushes to my side, whispering as she approaches. Not only do you care to be seen with Lord Stratton, but with both of you emerging from such a private place. She gives a small sigh before a mischievous smile curls on her lips. And why were you down such a shadowed corridor, alone with Lord Stratton, may I ask? Explain what was overheard. I got lost and he walked me back, or it's not my place to say. I love Arabella, but she seems to be the type that would possibly tell people, and if we're going for Stratton, we probably shouldn't tell her. Yeah. It is really not my place to say. Why on earth not? It is nothing frightful, Arabella, just not my secret to divulge. I suppose I can understand, though I'm not sure I am enjoying you being in that man's confidence so soon after knowing each other. Still, you are back in my safety now. I return her smile as she leads me back over to our seats. Oh. Okay, so it would seem that we are at the 23rd minute mark, so I'm going to stop this episode now. But I am enjoying this a lot, and I'm pretty excited for all of the stuff that we can do. And of course, I will link it in the description below, so please play it. Alright, bye!